Hello, my name is Alex Mareca, and I'm here to demo a web application that I built. Um, it's basically a reservations booking slash hotel website that I built for one of my friends who owns a hostel and doesn't currently have a website. So decided this would be a good idea to kind of practice my Ruby and Rails learnings that I've done so far in the Flatiron Software Engineering Bootcamp. This also suffices for the Rails project that we are required to do for the bootcamp as well. So uh, anyway, purpose of this video is to demo the web application, talk about a little bit about the design, some of the code, and basically just kind of show what the application does. So I'll go ahead and share my screen. So first off, I've got my terminal open here, and I'm ready to browse the directory. So I'm gonna go ahead and get the web server going. All right, should be running now. And launch Chrome, browse to the address, and here we go. Okay, so this is the root page, which is the essential home index page of the web app, and as you can see, it's pretty basic for aesthetics. So I haven't had time to really put much into the aesthetic appeal of the website yet. Been mainly working on getting the functionality working and sort of the back end. But eventually, my goal is to sort of improve the aesthetics, the user experience, user design, etc., and try to get this into a presentable website. So hopefully, I'm going to start learning JavaScript here shortly. I can incorporate some of the tools there as well into this. So anyway, I'll run through the basic functionality and kind of show what it does. So I've already basically created a seed file. So I've created some data for the database already. So typically a user will either sign up or log in. Users, I've created essentially two classes of users. You got your regular user, which would be like the customer, and you've got an admin user, which will essentially be whoever is managing the website. And you have different features for admins and users. So anyways, we'll start off by logging in as a user. And whenever we successfully log in, we are redirected to the show page for that particular user. As you can see, there's a greeting at top that displays the user's name, as well as some account info, which is stored in the database for that user. And then we have some different links here, things we can do. Basically, if we wanted to see what current reservations we have, we click on view reservations. And as you can see, I've already made some reservations here. These are part of the seed file, but we're going to go ahead and create a new reservation just to go through the process. So to create a new reservation, you need to click on View Available Rooms. Right now, I've got 4 rooms in the database, so you can choose either one. Start with room 1. The properties of the rooms are the name. I put in occupancy limit, essentially how many beds there are in the room, and a nightly cost associated with that room. So this is all data that's stored in the database. When the user wants to reserve this room, they click on Reserve This Room, and this renders a form that will create essentially a new reservation. I've made reservations separate model in this web app, so they're tied to users and rooms via a joins table. So that's how we're able to associate. Now notice when I clicked on Reserve Room, it's already populated the current user, which in this case is test user 1, and the room I was looking at, which was room number 1. And now I have to go ahead and fill in the data here for the rest of the reservation. I've defaulted the number of guests to 1 for any reservation, since that would be the minimum, and the maximum you can choose is based on the occupancy of the room. So you can't have more people than beds right now, is the way I've got it. Essentially, well, there's an occupancy limit to the room, not necessarily associated with the beds, but anyway, you can't go more than what the occupancy limit is. So for this reservation, I'll put two guests, and then check-in date. I've added some validations here. So the date has to be, check-in date has to be to the current date or later, and the checkout date has to be at least 1 day past the check-in date. So minimum time we can reserve the room for is 1 day. And I can test validations here just by putting in some dates. So today's September 20th, 2019. So if I put in January 2nd, 2019, it should not let me reserve this room because it would be in the past, but let's try it. All right, and then, so it didn't do it. I get this error message, please check your input data and try again. Basically, you need to fix the date. So another check is if I come in here and say, all right, I'm gonna start reserving the room today, but I forget to do the checkout date. It should not let me do that either. And I get the message, please input a valid check-in checkout date. So I need to get some checks and validations that allow me to basically prevent from creating erroneous reservations. So let's make this for 10 days approximately, starting today, reserve this room. All right, and once we've filled out the form successfully, we get redirected to a reservation show page. Up here, we'll get a little flash message saying you successfully made the reservation. And here's some reservation info. I've got the guests, the room, number of guests, and check-in, check-out date. I'm also calculating the days of the reservation, which is basically taking the number of days between check-in and check-out date, and a total that I've populated here based on room cost. So that's basically the kind of the workflow. From here, you can go back to your reservations, which will take you back to essentially the reservations associated with this user. You can see I've got 3 reservations now. These first 2 were pre-populated from my seats file. This one is the one we just created. And I can click on that, go back to the show page and see the info. I can also click on the room to go back and see the room that we reserved. And from here, go back to the account. So this is a typical workflow a user would go through to essentially book a reservation, so to speak. And at any point, they can always view the reservation. So that's kind of the workflow that I've got right now set up. So what I'll do now is go ahead and log out, and let's log in as an admin to show some of the features there. All right, and here I've got, I'm logged in as an admin. I've got my account info. I've got the, this admin field that I've got here. This is more for testing. I just want to be able to quickly see if the user account I'm on is an admin or not. That's not really for development or for actual launch, but that's just kind of for my testing purposes. So you can see on the admin show page, there's some more options that we have in addition to what was seen with the regular user. So we've got these 2 options which are there, and we can go and click on view current reservations. And here I've added a filter screen for admins only. So I figured it'd be helpful to be able to filter by room and user. And that way you can quickly see, which reservations are tied to which rooms or which user. So we click that, we get a listing of all the rooms that are reserved by that user, which would be test user 1. If you go test user 2, it shows me the reservation for that. You can also filter by room. Room 1 has 2 reservations. Room 2 has 1 reservation. 3 has 1, and 4 has 1. So these are all different reservations I've got. I can click on the reservation here. I can see which user in the room, the number of guests, dates, total. And one of the features I've added for admins is to be able to edit and delete reservations. So let's say we came in here and we decided to award some kind of discount on this reservation. We could click on edit reservation. This brings up a form, basically editing that current reservation that we just made. And you notice it's already pre-populated the date and guest here. This was all data that was stored. So if I want to apply like a 20% discount, I would do 0.2 or 0.20, and that would be a 20% discount. So what it will do is it'll just discount the entire total of that reservation. And we clicked on reserve room, and there you go. Now we've discounted it by 20%. You can see it's $1,488. I believe it was $1,500 before we did that. So it also displays the discount that we've awarded. So this feature is really only for the admins. Yeah, and so we could delete a reservation if we like. Just click delete. Are you sure? Yes, and then it redirects us to the user show page, and we shouldn't have any reservations for room 4, which we don't. So now it's blank. We can also look at user accounts. So the admins can see which users have created accounts. They can go here and look at their show pages, just to kind of manage those accounts. We can also edit the user accounts. So let's say we have a user that created a account and we want to update their info. So they put in the wrong email or telephone number or name or whatever. We can add that here. Also the password as well. So those are basically features that the admins can do. Again, this is pretty basic, but just kind of gives a general functionality to manage some bookings. And yeah, so let's see. What we can do now is let's go back to the show page. We're going to go ahead and log out, and I'm going to run through and create a couple of new users here. First, we're going to do the manual form entry method for signing up a new user. So we click on sign in, or I'm sorry, click on sign up. And we're just going to create a new user. So let's say Joe Smith, Joe at email.com. And we're just going to put in some erroneous data here. I've also got validation set up for these fields as well. So there's certain things you can't do. I've got the telephone where you've entered, you have to enter it basically as just integers. You can't use any special characters, and it has to be within 10 to 15 digits long. So this is a test. Let's put in a telephone number that uses hyphens, since typically that's how sometimes people enter telephone numbers. And if I click sign up, it shouldn't let me sign up because I've got non-integer characters in there. So if I go ahead and remove that, then it should let me sign up. So we're going to sign this up as a regular user, Joe Smith, and there we go. So now we've got a new account. We come in here, we shouldn't have any reservations because we haven't made any yet. And we're going to be able rooms. Let's just reserve a room. We'll reserve this room, room 2. And let's say we want to have 4 guests. I'm going to start it on, let's say 11/20/2019. 11/25. There we go. Okay. All right. So that's when we get our reservation. Joe Smith. There we go. 5 days, $400. And there's my current reservations. Go to my account, and I got the reservation. So that's the workflow we go through for a regular manual entry for sign up. I've also incorporated Facebook authentication user login, basically create an account via Facebook, which will pull in all your credentials from Facebook. And I've done that using the OmniAuth gem. So I'll go ahead and demo that. Create a new user, sign up, and I've got a link here, sign up with Facebook. So we'll go ahead and do that. And let's see, we're going to do that again because I'm already logged into Facebook actually, and I need to go ahead and log out. So let's see, we're going to do something real quick. Let's I'm going to go ahead and reset my database. So that way we're starting fresh, and we need to log out of Facebook. Let's log out. Okay. Log out. All right, there we go. So we're going to go ahead and go to here. Let's just reset one more time. Rails DVC. That way we have some reservations and some rooms we can play with. Sign up with Facebook. Now this time it should redirect me to the Facebook login, which it does. So if I log into Facebook, then it should take the data from Facebook and push it to my web app. And now I've got the sign up form with some pre-populated data. All right. And notice I've got a sort of a bogus phone number here, just to give it something, so that when I create my account, it has it populated, but that needs to be changed, obviously. So let's just put in something. It should be enough digits there. Okay. And click on save. All right. So now we've basically created an account with Facebook, Facebook login, and I've pulled in then my name, my email, and some information from Facebook, which is the UID, which is the user identifier number, and then my profile picture. So I went ahead and incorporated that into the web app, mainly because my friend currently has a Facebook page for his hostel, and I figured a lot of people might be trying to book through Facebook, so it'd be a good feature to have. And we can do obviously all the same features. Once we get the account created, we come in here, reserve a room, just like we would normally if we were using the manual entry for creating an account. This just creates a user with that info, and there we go. So that's basically the rundown of the application. It's pretty simple, but it does a job, and still has room for improvement. I got features I want to add, but this is basically what I've got, and I'll go ahead and just show the basic code here for the application. Let's see. Okay. There we go. So within the application, I've got three different models: reservation, room, and user. Hey, good morning. I've also got these controllers for each model: reservations, room, sessions, and users. So the basic functionality is there. Here's a schema, and this is basically the tables I've created and all the attributes that I'm populating. So yeah, that's kind of the rundown. It's just pretty straightforward. And my sessions controls log in and log out basically. Users controller essentially creating new users, and I've got room controller, which controls creating, editing, deleting rooms, and reservations again is handling all the reservations between the users and the room. So that's essentially it. This has been a great experience to kind of incorporate all the things I've learned in Rails and put it to a practical project. And yeah, I think I've learned quite a bit, and I really have enjoyed it. So look forward to hopefully adding some more features in the near future, and polishing up a couple things that I want to still add. But overall, I'm pretty happy with what I've got and the experience. So appreciate you watching this video.